What is the carbon market? The carbon market is a market created from the trading of carbon emission allowances in an attempt to encourage companies and countries to limit their carbon dioxide emissions. It is used by many countries to fulfill their obligations outlined in the Kyoto Protocol, a protocol that aims to reduce greenhouse gases to a level that would prevent dangerous anthropogenic interference with a climate system. An example of this can be seen between a power plant owner and a farmer. A power plant manager is often pressured by the community and environmental organizations to reduce his carbon footprint. A way that the power plant owner might do this is by partnering up with a neighboring farmer. For example, if a farmer is located directly next to a power plant and is planning on planting wheat, the power plant owner will instead ask the farmer if he can pay him to plant trees, because trees would help to absorb a lot of the carbon dioxide being emitted by the power plant. Sequestration. Sequestration is the process of storing carbon for a long time in order to avoid dangerous climate change. There are two major types of CO2 sequestration: terrestrial and geological. Terrestrial, also known as biological sequestration, means using plants to capture CO2 from the atmosphere, then storing it as carbon in the stems and roots of plants, as well as in the soil. Geological sequestration. That means putting CO2 into long-term storage in geological zones underground. The process for this is carbon is first captured from the atmosphere, for example from power plants, by a process called CCS, carbon capture and storage. Capture. Step 1. Carbon is separated from coal and gas powers. 2. There are three types of capture: pre-combustion, post-combustion, and oxy-fuel combustion. Transport. Carbon is then compressed and transported through pipelines underground or offshore. Finally, storage. The carbon is then injected into a storage site deep into the ground. The storage must be a geological formation that is both safe and permanent. Context with the carbon cycle. The capturing starts after the combustion process of the carbon cycle. Sequestration is important because having too much carbon released disrupts the balance of the carbon cycle. By having a ton of carbon in the atmosphere, you speed up the rate at which the Earth is heated, since carbon acts as an insulation or as a blanket for the Earth. Why is this important? It helps to reduce the abundance of carbon in the atmosphere, helping to slow down global warming and limit pollution. Overall, it helps the world. Some pros. Well, it reduces carbon footprints, and it offers a solution to global warming. Cons. One con could be the cost of carbon emission allowances. While they used to be much more expensive, the typical carbon emission allowance now ranges from $2.06 to $3.5 for 1 ton of carbon allowances. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed.